Chapter 1 Keys to Success. Are you teacher material? Let's find out. The age old adage, love what you do, is even more important when you are planning to start your own business. When you are your own boss, you will be responsible for everything involved with your work, such as advertising, planning, setting your lunch or break hours, budgeting, overhead, keeping organized, and knowing the amount of work you can handle. You will need to learn how to file taxes as an independent contractor, and you will be responsible for setting aside part of your income to pay taxes every 3 months. Research the tax code to determine what expenses qualify as legitimate write-offs. There is a greater burden of responsibility when you work for yourself. As a piano teacher, you need to consider that in the summer, many families go on vacation, and many choose to postpone piano lessons entirely until school resumes. Summer is when you make the least amount of money from teaching. If some of your students show a high degree of talent and desire to pursue piano further, then taking off the entire summer is not advised. But you need to realize that your income during the summer will decrease by up to 50%. It is important to put money aside for these lean times. In any case, your objective should be to give yourself at least a month off each year to rest and enjoy the fruits of your labor. In consideration of challenges like these and others facing you, such as students putting your patience to the test, it's time for us to do an assessment to see if you are ready for this. If you can answer no to the following questions, then we'll move on to the next set. Do you prefer a regular day-to-day routine that never changes? Do you feel that piano teachers, as they are now, are doing a good job educating young minds? Do you feel you can contribute to education and make it better? Are you passionate about the work you are doing now? Do you have an inquisitive mind? Do you enjoy analyzing issues presented to you and coming up with a solution? Do you believe only those with talent should take piano lessons, and not those who will never be very good at it, no matter how hard they work at it? Are you passionate about helping a mediocre student become a student who excels? Did you answer no to all of the questions above? If you did, then let's move to the next list. If you can answer yes to these, this could be the work for you. Do you have the desire to make a profound impact on someone's life? Are you a music lover? Do you tend to find something worthwhile in most genres, not limited to classical music? Do you enjoy going to concerts? Do you have patience? A lot of it. Are you a natural psychologist? Can you see yourself in the role of a counselor? Are you able to make even a mediocre player a good, even very good piano player? A great piano teacher commands the same respect from society that licensed elementary and high school teachers do. Piano teachers are not babysitters, nor are they meant to keep a child occupied with an afternoon activity. If this is all you aspire to do, then please consider remaining at your current job. Piano teaching requires a unique, unconventional approach to students and their parents. You need to command respect interacting with students. Teaching requires focus and a quiet atmosphere. Parents must be told to keep their smaller children quiet when you are teaching in their home. Letting them know this will make them respect you and may even earn you a raise and a holiday bonus. Piano teachers, as portrayed in movies and on TV, are often depicted as physically weak, effeminate, and overall different from the rest of society. But why can't a male piano teacher be as rugged as a child's football coach? Why can't a woman teacher be as socially conscious as a politician? Ironically, a teacher of musical instruments has a greater impact on a child's life than one realizes. The skills required to play an instrument are the same as are needed to be a top player on any school sport team: concentration, coordination, endurance, willpower. Beethoven had a short and squat physique. but he had great strength and enough power to rock music halls with his intensely loud and powerful performances. The difference between taking lessons and playing a sport is this. Sports in general do not apply what your student learns in class to becoming a better performer in his sport. Music, however, requires math, language, reading, and spelling skills. To be successful at teaching, you must ask yourself, why teach? When you find the answer, your next question will be, how do I get the greatest share of the market? How much time are you willing to commit? Now that you've decided that you're cut out to be a piano teacher, the next step is knowing how much time you can commit to it. There are many real estate agents who make a six-figure salary selling houses, but it is likely that it's a full-time job for them. For every full-time realtor, there are hundreds who do it part-time. All the part-time agents are picking up the scraps left behind by the sales leaders. Similarly, if you want to leave a drab, dull career behind to teach piano, it's going to require you to put as much time into it as possible. At the beginning, you will, and should, start part-time and teach in the late afternoon and evening. At some point, though, you will have to quit your regular job. Have some money put aside and tackle it on a full-time basis. You will need time to research communities, establish territories, and do grassroots advertising. Word of mouth, or referrals, is always desired. Why kids hate piano lessons, and how this book will make them love you for teaching them. Parents think about giving their kids piano lessons. When they tell their child they will be starting lessons, the child is now given a new responsibility. Kids don't want to take lessons. They would rather be outside, playing video games, watching TV. The last thing they want to do is practice the piano. When they meet you for the first time, they view you as another teacher, and they feel their school has been extended for another hour, longer than it already is. Your objective is to keep any prospective student for years, not just months. You must always assume that you will keep your students for at least 2 years. So how do you accomplish that? In the first place, the time spent with your student is one-on-one. The mom or the dad should never be in the same place that you are when you teach. After all, they are not sitting in when a child is attending classes at school. Why should this be any different? The key to connecting with the student is to not teach them. It should be a fun activity, not another dull class. We will speak in this book about approaching students and their initial lesson. The bottom line is, it is the child student who decides how long you will be his or her teacher, and not the parent. You really need to connect with the student, no matter what their age, if you really want to keep them for more than a few months. If you feel there is potential in each student, analyze each situation and design a game plan to teach them. Remember, almost every student you meet has the potential to play well. Forget about the statistics and studies. Modify your approach so that all students play well and enjoy playing. Your goal with each student should be 3 years, which is in line with their parents' thinking in most cases. To accomplish this, you must appear to be the diversion at first. While entertaining your students, you are cleverly instilling life-changing skills into them. Entertaining students by making jokes, keeping it light, will help ease tension greatly, and the child student will look forward to seeing you week after week. Children are underestimated in general. Experience shows that 99% of the time, the student exceeds their parents' expectations. If your approach is right, you can teach all students to do the following. Memorize all their pieces, up to 3 pages for beginners. Play each piece with feeling and with the dynamics indicated in the piece. Play each piece according to the shown tempo. Can play all white key scales rapidly, evenly, and by memory. Transpose most assigned pieces to the keys of G, D, and A major. Play at your annual piano recitals entirely by memory. Can handle at least 2 different pieces of music at a time. Regardless of the student's ability, you must earn respect from each one of them to keep them as your students for a long time. Children are more perceptive than most of us think, so it's critical that you practice the piano at least 4 times a week. The first impression you make on a student, and the student's parents, cannot be underestimated. It is important. When your first piano lesson begins with you playing a piano piece that is difficult and shows your mastery of the piano, you have succeeded in winning them over, and can count on keeping the student longer than a teacher who shies away from playing in front of their new student. In a later chapter, we will discuss recommended pieces for you to play at your first meeting.